Our first speaker today is Paudie Coffey. Paudie is Minister of State at the Department of Environment, Community and Local Government and has special responsibility for housing, planning and coordination of the Construction 2020 strategy, all subjects dear to our heart here at the conference. He's been a member of Dáil Éireann since 2011, representing the Waterford constituency. Before entering full-time politics in 2007, he worked for over 20 years at ESB Networks. Initially, he trained as an electrician and cable jointer before working as a project manager, planner and designer on the electrical distribution system in the southeast area. He also holds a diploma in facilities management. Coming from the southeast, Paudie is also a hurling man. He represented Waterford at both minor and under-21 level and is currently chairperson of his local GAA club, as well as being former secretary of Portlaw GAA club. He has also acted as under-21 county team selector and trainer for Waterford. So Minister, with your pedigree in the wider construction sector and your current responsibilities for our areas of interest in construction, I welcome you to Galway and to our conference. We sincerely thank you for your attendance here today and look forward to hearing your keynote address to open the conference. Aristat, Paudie Coffey.
Thank you very much, Martin. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, can I say it's a wonderful morning out there. I come from the sunny southeast, and I can tell you you've matched us well this morning. It's brilliant, lovely day to be in Galway. And it's great to see such a crowd here at this conference as well. And as I look up at you, I see a lot of the future of the construction sector, which I think is vital to sustain us all. And it's great to see so many students engaging with the experienced practitioners that are here as well from all around the Western region. I'm conscious that a lot of the experienced people that I'm looking at, I would also call you the great survivors of what has been a very difficult time in the construction sector over the last 5 or 6 years. And I want to commend you indeed for your survival. And now I believe that there's an opportunity for you to start contributing again in a very proactive way as the economy recovers. I'm also very conscious, being from the southeast region, that the regions are not sharing in the recovery at the moment as much as we would like, and I'm sure you're seeing the same here in the western region as well. So the challenge, I suppose, for all of us, including government, is to ensure that this recovery does reach out to the regions, is shared, and that the construction sector is brought back to a sustainable level again. I don't think any of us wants it to go back to what it was, to the boom-bust cycle, but we do certainly want it to get back to sustainable, normalised levels, and I think we all have a role to play in that. I want to thank the Galway Mayo Institute of Technology for inviting me this morning, and I think this is an excellent opportunity to engage, as I said, with the people involved in construction at many levels. And this is your 5th annual conference, and I think I commend you on actually continuing to hold it in what would have been considered the bleakest years in construction. Because as we now see with the rising demand for graduates in the economy, it was indeed very important that our colleges continue to run and maintain construction programs over the last few years, because you as graduates now will certainly be in demand, as we will see over the coming months and years. Because confidence in the activity levels in construction are now thankfully continuing to register positively again in each quarter. And I do sense that there's a growing mood of optimism in the recovery, and that is now real and lasting. And the figures speak for themselves. Construction employment now stands at 116,000 persons, which is an increase of 13,000 persons in the past year alone. Housing completions reached 11,000 in 2014, up by 32% in 2013. I will be sharing some perspectives on that with responsibility for housing. The government will be embarking on an ambitious social housing strategy, and there will be announcements very shortly right around the country for local authorities and approved housing bodies to, I suppose, commence substantial housing projects right around the country. And that's something I certainly hope that all of you here can share in. Today's conference programme is testament to the fact that people are focusing on the practicalities of building again. Getting things moving from a virtual standstill brings its own set of challenges, but I want to say in particular that the government is with you every step of the way. Economic growth and social progress and environmental sustainability require a capable and effectively performing housing and construction sector. The Social Housing Strategy 2020 that I just mentioned and the broader Construction 2020 strategy sets out the government blueprint for ensuring that the appropriate policy and legislative reforms are achieved to provide the context, the clarity and the certainty that is required for the increased public and private investment now urgently needed to meet the current and future social and economic needs of our regions and of our country. Taken together, the Social Housing Strategy 2020 and Construction 2020 comprise some 112 measures which set out a credible and achievable context for reforming and revitalising the housing and construction sector. Minister Kelly, myself and our colleagues in Government are clearly focused on acting decisively to deliver these measures, and the Government will not be found wanting in working hard to create the conditions necessary to ensure the delivery of social and economic infrastructure. And this will allow people to live and work in a built environment that is user-friendly, safe, secure, but more importantly, sustainable. This means working openly with all of the stakeholders to overcome the challenges such as careful manpower planning that ensures the right skills and training are in place to respond effectively to growing construction demands following several years of little or no activity. Also, the challenge of close alignment of the planning and development system with the current and future investment and infrastructural needs. The need for new and innovative investment funding and investment models that provide the wherewithal to meet real and growing demand. Our recent return to growth does not in itself herald the end of constraints and resources. That said, the Government has now returned the public finances to solid ground. We need now to ensure that such public investment is targeted wisely and effectively, not least in the €3.8 billion that is now committed through my department for the delivery of 35,000 social housing units over the next 6 years. The range of critical issues which inform these strategies are the traditional dilemmas for policymakers and practitioners like yourselves, such as the challenge of matching supply and demand, aligning regional and local planning processes with needs, ensuring standards and quality assurance, and of course the critical issues of identifying finance and devising workable funding mechanisms. Far from ever becoming resolved, they continue to throw up fresh challenges, as we all know. With regard to investment funding, the return to sustained public investment will never go anywhere near meeting our overall investment needs. The availability of funding, therefore, for developers and for potential buyers alike is an essential critical success factor. And this forms a key topic in our Construction 2020 strategy. In my own view, the expectations of financiers and developers in particular must become attuned to the fact that market circumstances have changed fundamentally. There is no prospect of the market returning to where it was pre-2006. Expectations and investment decisions must therefore be framed around today's operating environment and outlook. Conditions now seem conducive to allowing business to take place again, and it is in everybody's interest that this happens sooner rather than later. The Department of Finance's report on access to development finance highlights the increasing levels of capital available for financing viable construction and development projects. And on the back of the recent successful Construction Finance Conference, which was held in Dublin last week, there is every reason now to be confident that a significant breakthrough on this intractable problem is now within reach. This question will continue to be afforded priority by this Government until the necessary flow of investment funding is achieved. With regard to quality and standards, which I think you will all agree is a very important area in terms of construction and building, the theme of quality and sustainability stands out strongly across the suite of presentations that you will hear later today. And this is as it should be. The public tolerance for poor building quality has been well and truly exhausted. On the building control side of things, for which I hold ministerial responsibility, we now have a credible regulatory framework that empowers competence and professionalism in the design and construction process, and that requires owners, developers, builders and professionals to account for their statutory obligations. I look forward in the coming months to working with industry, local authorities and all stakeholders to review the arrangements now in place during their first 12 months in operation. It is important that we identify what further steps are necessary to refine and streamline the regulation process in order to ensure that all our citizens can enjoy the quality built environment they expect and deserve. The next key ingredient in this regard is the fulfilment of the Government's commitment to the introduction of statutory registration of builders and contractors in the form of the Construction Industry Register, Ireland, or SERI as it's better known. Consumers who hire CRE registered builders and contractors will have the reassurance that they are dealing with a competent and compliant builder. I believe this register will become the foundation stone of quality in the industry, and I look forward to seeing it develop into a robust statutory register. In conclusion, I want to compliment again everybody concerned here in GMIT in creating this forum. I think it's especially good that you have so many external stakeholders and practitioners coming, bringing your experience and your practical knowledge and engaging directly with students who I suppose are our graduates and our professionals of tomorrow. I think it's very important that we continue to engage, and that's something I as Minister commit to doing. I'm sorry that I cannot stay longer for your questions and answers, but as some people will know, I am quite open to engaging with yourselves. If there is ideas, if there's things that government could be doing better, please feel free to contact me through my office. As I said, we always are listening and learning. I don't think anybody has a monopoly in wisdom, and that includes myself. I want to wish you all the very best for the remainder of the day, but more importantly, for the next coming months and years ahead. Yes, it has been a very challenging environment for everybody involved in construction, but I believe now that we are on the cusp of opportunities again, providing we plan in a sustainable way. And, you know, I look forward, as I said, to engaging with a lot of you, as I know you will be involved in many projects here on the Western Seaboard and in the country in general. I think there are better days ahead for the construction sector. I want to wish the graduates and the students that are here the very best in the future, and I certainly hope that we will be, you know, welcoming many of the ones that have left these shores back home again, and that they'll be coming back with the valuable experience they've gained around the world to help and assist us in the recovery of our economy. So thank you all again, and thank you for the invite here this morning.